Are you being used, overlooked, or betrayed despite being kind, loyal, and well-intentioned? The problem isn't the world. The problem is the dog inside you. And Machiavelli didn't write for dogs. He wrote for wolves. In this video, we will help you kill the obedient dog within and awaken the ruthless, respected, and untouchable wolf you were born to be. Look at yourself not in the mirror, but in your habits. You apologize before you speak. You wait for permission to act. You seek comfort in being liked, approved, accepted. You've been trained to behave, not trained like a warrior, trained like a dog. You wear your obedience like a badge. You call it being nice, being good, being loyal. But understand this, in the real world, in the world of power, those qualities mean nothing unless they come with force. Niccolo Machiavelli warned that to survive among men who lie, cheat, manipulate, and betray, you must become what they fear, not what they like. The dog is not feared. The dog is domesticated. The dog wags its tail while its master sharpens the knife. The dog protects those who would sell it for coins. The dog is loyal even to those who do not feed it. That's not virtue, that's slavery. You think your loyalty protects you. You think your kindness earns respect. You think by being the good man in the room, they will spare you. Let Machiavelli speak to you from the grave. The world does not protect the obedient. The world uses them. The world decorates them with praise while gutting them from behind. You were not born to beg. You were not born to be led by the leash. Within you, there is something more ancient, something untamed, a hunger that has been put to sleep by teachers, preachers, parents, and false philosophies. They gave you bones to chew on, distractions to chase, rules to obey. But they never warned you of the wolves. They never told you that if you walk like a dog in a forest full of wolves, you will be devoured without mercy. Because the wolf does not ask for approval, the wolf does not wait to be told. The wolf watches, then strikes. The wolf endures solitude, but never servitude, and now here you are. You wonder why people walk over you, why your loyalty isn't returned. Why is your honesty met with betrayal? Why do they laugh behind your back, even as you offer your heart? It is not because you are weak. It is because you behave weak, because you carry yourself like a dog, wagging your tail in a world ruled by predators. And hear this, even the best dogs get put down when they're no longer useful. The man who wants to survive betrayal, treachery, and manipulation must learn this first lesson. You do not win by being liked. You win by being respected, and respect is earned not through obedience, but through strength, strategy, and silence. The wolf doesn't bark to be heard. He moves in silence, and when he strikes, the world remembers. Ask yourself this: would your enemies fear your silence, or do they dismiss you with a smile? When you enter a room, do people shift in their seats, or do they see a harmless pet looking for approval? If you crave to be more, to be untouchable, unbothered, unbroken, then Machiavelli gives you your first order. Kill the dog in you. Not tomorrow, not when it's safe, now. Because the world isn't waiting for you to grow teeth. It's sharpening its own. They told you to be kind, to forgive, to turn the other cheek. They praised you for your softness, not because they respected it, but because it made you easy to handle. Easy to beat, easy to control. You became a kind man, the understanding one, the one who gives second chances and third and fourth. But look at the scoreboard. Where has your kindness brought you? Machiavelli didn't trust kindness. Not because it had no value, but because it had no armor. Because when kindness stands alone, it doesn't save you, it destroys you. A good man without power is not a hero. He is a victim waiting for the slaughter. The world is not gentle. It is not just. It is not waiting to reward your good intentions. You think you gain respect by letting things go, by staying silent when you're wronged, by giving more than you receive. No, you teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. And every time your kindness is not backed by strength, it becomes permission for them to use you, to lie to you, to betray you, and to still sleep well at night. There is a lie buried deep in modern minds that being good is enough, that being honest, loyal, and kind will earn you safety, that if you're just sincere enough, people will love you, protect you, elevate you. But Machiavelli tears that illusion apart. He knew the truth most men are too afraid to say out loud, that goodness without the capacity for violence is weakness, that mercy, if given too freely, invites predators, that the man who never shows his teeth becomes prey, not prince. They say kindness is a virtue, but Machiavelli would ask you a virtue for whom? Is it a virtue if it keeps you poor, silent, overworked, and overlooked? Is it a virtue if it keeps you in chains while others feast at your table? You must understand, mercy only works when others fear your wrath. Forgiveness only means something when you have the power to destroy, but choose not to. But you forgive because you're afraid of losing people. You're afraid of conflict. You're afraid of being seen as cruel. So you let it go again and again and again. And they learn. They learn you don't bite. They learn you don't retaliate. They learn that your kindness is not a choice. It's a condition. A leash, a submission disguised as virtue. That's why you're overlooked. That's why betrayal finds you again and again. Because the world doesn't fear your goodness, it exploits it. Machiavelli spoke of the lion and the fox. But what is often missed is this: even the fox has teeth. Even the lion, when sleeping, must be dangerous. You cannot afford to be the only kind man. You must be the man who can be cruel, but chooses not to, not out of fear, but out of strategy. There is a time to forgive, but only if it serves a greater purpose. There is a time to be generous, but only when it secures your position. There is a time to be soft, but only as a mask, not a state of being. Power listens to no sermons. It bows to no kindness, it respects no weakness. If you want to walk with power, then your kindness must be sharp. Measured a weapon, not a weakness. A dog shows its belly to the master. A wolf bares its teeth, even in silence. If you cannot be dangerous, your kindness means nothing. It's not noble, it's not brave. It's just an invitation, a signal that says, "Come closer, I won't bite." You want to be loved. You want their approval. You want the applause, the validation, the warm embrace of acceptance. But ask yourself, where has love ever kept a man in power? You think love protects you. Love is a feeling, and feelings change. They change when your resources dry up. They change when your influence fades. They change when you make a single wrong move. Machiavelli was clear: it is safer to be feared than loved. Not because fear is cruel, not because it is inhuman, but because it is reliable, it is structured. It holds. Fear roots itself in the bones. Love floats in the air, and what floats disappears. The man who builds his kingdom on love must constantly serve the emotions of others. He must bow to every whim. He must please. He must explain. But the man who is feared commands from silence. He is obeyed without discussion. He is respected even in absence. People betray those they love when it benefits them, but they hesitate to betray those they fear because they dread the consequences. They calculate, they pause, and in that pause, power survives. Love makes you their equal. Fear keeps you above. They will smile at the one they love, but they will kneel before the one they fear. You think leadership is about being liked. You think influence is about charm. That's what weak men tell themselves so they can sleep peacefully while the wolves climb the throne in silence. You chase love, because you think it brings security. But love makes you dependent. You shape your words to avoid offense. You compromise your standards to maintain connection. You become predictable, and predictable men are the first to be outmaneuvered. Look at history, look at kings, rulers, generals. Those who relied on affection crumbled. Their people turned against them at the first sign of weakness. But those who ruled through strength, through discipline, through consequence, they held their crowns far longer. Machiavelli never said cruelty was the goal. No, he said fear must be calculated, not reckless. The man who is feared must not be hated. Because hatred is personal, and the wise prince avoids personal enemies. But fear, properly managed, breeds order. It creates silence, and silence is the soil in which power grows. When they fear you, they think before they speak. When they fear you, they question their own betrayal before it begins. When they fear you, they follow even when they disagree, because the cost of defiance outweighs the comfort of disobedience. Now ask yourself, do people think twice before crossing you? Or do they count on your forgiveness before they even sin? The one who is loved is expected to understand, to be soft, to be forgiving, and over time, the love you fought to earn becomes the very leash that strangles your strength. You become the leader who apologizes to his followers, the father who can't control his household, the king who begs his people not to rebel. You become the dog again, charming, smiling, tail wagging, while the wolf watches you from the shadows, waiting for your kindness to become your grave. Fear does not mean rage, it does not mean violence, it means respect enforced by consequence. It means you are not to be trifled with. It means your word is law, not suggestion. They don't have to like you. They don't even have to speak well of you. But they must never forget what happens if they go against you. Because in the world of power, loyalty built on fear lasts longer than love ever could. Love fades when pressure arrives. Fear sharpens in its presence. Love bends when tested. Fear holds the line. When you lead through fear, you no longer chase loyalty. Loyalty chases you. They say growth is beautiful. They say transformation is inspiring. But Machiavelli knew the truth. Transformation is war. Not with the world, but with yourself. You cannot step into power wearing the skin of who you used to be. You cannot walk the path of the wolf while dragging the corpse of your former self behind you. If you want to rise, if you want to be untouchable, if you want to command rather than beg, you will have to kill something inside you. And that death is never clean. You will have to murder your need for approval, slaughter your addiction to comfort, crush your fantasies of fairness, burn the emotional attachments that have made you weak. It doesn't matter how loyal you are. It doesn't matter how well you mean. It doesn't matter how noble your intentions are. If you walk into a room full of wolves with a heart that still beats like a dog, they will smell it. And they will tear you apart. You want to evolve, then you must learn to abandon. Not everything can come with you. Not every person, not every habit, not every belief. Transformation doesn't ask for your permission. It doesn't care how it makes you feel. It doesn't wait for you to be ready. It comes for you in moments of betrayal, in moments of loss, in moments where the mask of goodness is torn off your face and you are left staring at the reality of power, raw, unfiltered, brutal. That's where the real change begins, not in the books, not in the speeches, not in the moments of inspiration. Change begins when something dies inside you and you let it, when you stop trying to be liked, when you stop explaining yourself, when you stop expecting people to be who they pretend to be. This is where most men fail. They start the journey. They speak of strength, they post quotes, they fantasize about control. But when the time comes to cut ties, they hesitate. When the time comes to speak the truth, they go silent. When the time comes to say no, they smile and say yes, because the dog still lives inside them, because the transformation is only on the surface. You cannot pretend to be a wolf. The world knows the difference. A man who has transformed doesn't ask for respect, he commands it. Not with words, not with threats, but with presence. You feel it in the way he moves, the way he watches, the way he doesn't flinch, doesn't chase, doesn't beg. He's done the work. He's buried his weakness. And it cost him more than anyone will ever know. The people you once laughed with, they will grow quiet around you. The ones who once used you, they will avoid you because they know. They see it in your eyes. The softness is gone. But this transformation comes at a price. You will walk alone for a time. You will be misunderstood. You will be accused of being cold, arrogant, heartless, and maybe you are. But Machiavelli would tell you that is the tax for real power. The man who transforms fully doesn't crave peace, he builds his own. He doesn't run from conflict, he uses it. He doesn't break under pressure, he sharpens beneath it. You can stay where it's warm, where it's comfortable, where people praise you for being agreeable, but don't confuse comfort with respect. Don't mistake approval for influence. Transformation means becoming someone who no longer needs to be understood. It means killing the version of yourself who thought life was fair, who believed loyalty was forever, who waited for others to give him permission to rise. It means stepping into the arena naked, weapon in hand, ready to lose everything except your will. Because only through that ruthless fire can a wolf be born. You were not born to be agreeable. You were not born to be soft, spoken, obedient, or endlessly forgiving. You were born into a world where weakness is punished, where naivety is weaponized, and where those who refuse to bite are fed to those who do. The dog in you seeks peace, but peace without power is slavery. The dog in you craves love, but love without strength is manipulation. The dog in you believes loyalty will be returned, but loyalty without leverage is suicide. Machiavelli did not write for those who want to be good. He wrote for those who want to survive, for those who want to win, for those who understand that this world does not crown the kind, it crowns the clever, the cold, and the dangerous. To rise, you must cut away everything that makes you dependent. You must be willing to walk alone, to be feared more than you are loved, to show kindness only when it serves your strategy, to become the one who chooses when to strike and when to disappear. There is a wolf in you, starved, silent, waiting. Kill the dog, let the wolf reign.